#WeAreMovieClub.
Hey there, welcome to the Jam. I'm Cameron. Today the toast is to Red vs. Blue, Season 10. This is a review for week 45 of #WeAreMovieClub. This week's pick is mine. So the short sell on this one is that this is the final chapter of the Project Freelancer saga. Whether you're counting from Season 5 through 10 or just Seasons 9 and 10, it's the end of that stories, because there's really two stories going on. So we finally get a bunch of answers, and dude, because that is my love it, is the endings. They actually managed to do this with both stories. I'm actually really surprised that you could end the first story that ends that way, had a super powerful moment, go into another scene, and then actually end the series again, and have it still feel almost as powerful, if not as powerful. Super amazed at that. My hate it for this one was we didn't get enough Agent Maine. I was begging for the story of Agent Maine ever since Season 6. Ever since we find out that the meta was not always the meta, that means that he started somewhere. He started as what it turns out to be Agent Maine. He ends up with an injury, let's say, and he gets Sigma, which jump-starts the process of the meta. Oh my, there was so much story there, and it felt like there were some sudden rewrites, because I definitely wanted to see that big, beautiful, dramatic fight scene, the one that was in No Grav with York, with Agent Maine there. That, to me, would have been more powerful if we'd had that scene right before the clip scene. For MVP, there's so many great characters here. You can argue Church, Epsilon, Alpha, the Director, whatever you want to call that series of characters. You could argue Agent Carolina. You could argue Tex, even though she's really not in it. But I'm going to give credit to Sigma, that creepy-ass AI, because without him, none of what I love out of this series would be possible. The whole thing doesn't fall apart. We don't get Season 6. Oh, God, it's voiced by no other than creepy-ass Elijah Wood. So, perfect match. Way to go, Rooster Teeth, for pulling in a ringer, but hey, it's what it is. Let's get on the categories. Aesthetics. Look, I love the friggin' mocap stuff that Monty does. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I didn't realize you could do that with that, especially with like the high-def 3D models they use. And while the human faces don't always look believable, the armor looks amazing when you do that stuff with it. They have beautifully composed scenes. They're visually stimulating as well as having meaning. Behind them. That low grab fight between Carolina and York. There's just small things like when Carolina starts losing it and the AI are screaming right there with her. Beautiful moments where Tex is about to take her out. There's so much. Even when they're fighting the ODST guys, there's some really good stuff there, and just some genius insertions, like with the robot arm and the knives and the axes. And when Agent Florida shows up for the first time, well, not the first time, but he kind of shows up to try to save the day. Really interesting to see that come out of it. And I don't want to harp too long because I'll get worked up, but beautiful music, especially at the right times. I think that was key to making the scenes as powerful as they were. I could go on, but I won't. Aesthetics gets a 98. Character development. You could easily argue that there's more character development in Season 10 than Season 9. We have all the AIs that we're meeting for the first time. We've seen them before. We've talked to Delta a lot, but we get to see kind of his origin, how he interacts around the other AI, how he interacts in Project Freelancer, what he's actually capable of doing in the field. We see lots of stuff like that, and I'm super impressed with it. To take these non-corporeal entities and really bring life to them is difficult. And we kind of see the accumulation of everything when we get to see Church at the end, where he starts phasing and remembering things very vividly, let's say that. I thought that was fantastic, not only visually, but representative of the character development he's gone through, and the way we see everything come together. I don't want to spoil anything, and I feel if I continue on like this, I will, just because it's so amazing. It really does get top shelf. Character development gets a 93.
Storyline.
The storyline for this is kind of the same as it was for season 9. I don't like the delivery. There's two separate stories that are related rather severely, but I really wish that I could watch them separately in chronological order. I'd much rather go back and watch season 9 Blood Gulch, Epsilon Unit really, and then season 10 at Valhalla, and then go back and watch season 9 Project Freelancer and season 10 Project Freelancer. I think that would be a much better viewing experience. But the story's amazing. The way they tie everything together is great. The Blood Gulch adventure itself is not that amazing, but Carolina definitely spices it up with her being there, and they definitely come together when they need to and put great spins on the story. And the Project Freelancer stuff is amazing, though it felt like there were some sudden rewrites and some rushes in there, and maybe that's just due to crunch production and wanting to do this or that and not having the time to animate it. There's a lot of things that go wrong when you start pulling in high capacity mo-capture. Like storyline gets an 88.
Compulsion.
I don't care what I've said about this in the past. I don't care what I've said about it in this video. This is an amazing thing, and I would love for you or anyone, your friends, your mother, your brother, your sister, dad, whatever, to watch this because it's such a great experience. But in order to get the full effect of the experience, you've got 9 other seasons to go watch first. And honestly, that is a lot to ask. But if you go through the journey like we did together, possibly with a friend or two, maybe just do a marathon over the weekend and binge it. Do the first 5 one weekend, do the next 5 the next. It is worth it 100%. This definitely kept me distracted from anything else going on. Compulsion gets a 95. And to total that up, you get an average of 93.5. For my wrap-up review, I've got to say thank you, Rooster Teeth, for such a wonderful journey. Those 10 years, Bernie wrote all 10 seasons, or at least was the lead writer. And then he's handed off to Miles, who's got season 11. I think we, as WeAreMovieClub, is going to stop here. For the moment, at least. Maybe we'll come back and do 11 and 12 later, after 12's released. But honestly, I would feel insincere to do 11 and 12 without getting to the end of Miles' first saga. So maybe it'll be a couple years, but I'm gonna go watch it. Keep watching it. It's good stuff. Miles has definitely picked it up and ran with it. And hey, again, thank you, Rooster Teeth, for such a wonderful treat. But once again, this was a review for #WeAreMovieClub. This week's pick was mine. This will be the last of this for a while, so you'll get to see a new movie from me after Charlie's pick next week, which is going to be Pulp Fiction. I've already done a review on this, so I'm going to end up linking that and explaining probably more in depth why I don't like the movie. Spoilers. Hey, thanks for sticking with us. If you have, if not, go back and watch it. There should be links to the Red vs. Blue stuff on YouTube in the description. I think that's it for me. Have a nice day. I am Cameron.
Be sure to go check out all the fine folks that are involved in this video. Thanks for watching.